Hello, friends, and welcome to The Architecture Enthusiast. Owen Jones was a pivotal figure in 19th century design, a master of color, and a fierce advocate for a rational, historically informed approach to ornamentation. He stood at a unique crossroads, inheriting the stylistic chaos of the Victorian era, yet yearning for a principled, universal language of design. His most significant contribution, the book The Grammar of Ornament, was a direct response to this need, a monumental and unprecedented attempt to codify the laws of beauty across history and culture. It was part historical record, part design treatise, and a profound statement on the role of ornament in a rapidly modernizing world. If you were to ask Owen Jones, what is architecture? His answer would be a direct challenge to the unadorned industrial aesthetic that was gaining ground. He would not see architecture as a purely structural or functional discipline, nor as a simple expression of engineering. Instead, he would argue that architecture is the harmonious union of a building's structure and its ornamentation. For Jones, a building without ornament was incomplete, and ornament without a structural basis was deceitful. He believed that beauty was a fundamental requirement of all great art, and that architecture's highest purpose was to lift the human spirit through the expressive power of form, color, and pattern. He saw the architect's role as a moral one, to create a unified whole where beauty and utility were inseparable. In essence, for Jones, architecture was the noble art of organizing structure and enriching it with a truthful and symbolic language of ornament, derived from universal, immutable principles. It was the embodiment of a civilization's highest ideals, expressed in stone, iron, and a vibrant palette of colors. His groundbreaking book was an ambitious project to provide a visual and theoretical foundation for this philosophy. It was a compendium of design from 20 of the world's most influential cultures, ranging from ancient Egypt and Greece to the intricate patterns of the Islamic and Chinese traditions. But the book was more than a collection of beautiful images. It was a manifesto. Its 37 propositions, which served as an introduction, laid out a clear set of principles for all designers to follow. One of the most famous, Proposition 8, declared that all ornament should be based on a geometrical construction. This principle was a direct result of his extensive study of Moorish designs, particularly the Alhambra, which he considered a pinnacle of integrated, structurally honest ornament. The Islamic refusal to use figural representation had led to a sophisticated exploration of geometric and vegetal forms, which Jones found to be a perfect model for his own philosophy. Jones also passionately advocated for honesty in material and construction. Proposition 13 stated that construction should be ornamented, not ornament constructed. He believed that ornament should never disguise a building's true materials or structural purpose. Instead, it should grow organically from the form itself, enriching the facade rather than simply being applied to it. This idea, while seemingly paradoxical given his love for elaborate decoration, actually laid the groundwork for later modernist movements that championed truth to materials. He also held powerful convictions about color. Rejecting the muted tones of his day, Jones celebrated vibrant, contrasting colors, believing they were essential for creating harmony and visual clarity. His brilliant palettes were inspired by the intense hues found in natural forms and historical ornament, proving that color was not a superficial element, but a vital part of a building's expression. Jones's work and philosophy were a direct challenge to the stylistic free-for-all of the mid-19th century. He provided a much-needed theoretical backbone for designers, offering a path to create a new, modern style that was both expressive and principled, and rooted in an understanding of historical precedent without being a slave to it. His insistence that ornament was a necessary, even ethical component of architecture, and that it should derive from a rational, principled basis, elevated the conversation around design and set the stage for a new century of architectural thought. Louis Sullivan, a century later, would give Jones's principles a new, distinctly American voice. While Sullivan's famous axiom, form ever follows function, seems to place a higher value on utility, his profound exploration of ornament shows a direct intellectual lineage to Jones. Sullivan saw ornament not as a separate element, but as an integral expression of the building's structural framework and its purpose. His intricate, organic, and highly personal decorative motifs, often applied to the spandrels and around the entrances of his buildings, were a celebration of the structure and a symbolic representation of its function. Sullivan's ornament grows from the form, it accentuates the building's height and structural rhythm, and it expresses a vibrant, almost botanical energy. It is a powerful example of how Jones's insistence on the unity of structure and ornament could be reinterpreted with a new, expressive vocabulary for a modern age.